Just 2 days after publishing a video about how outdated video game reviews are, we bring you an old school review, because Bandai Namco was kind enough to send us a game copy of Little Nightmares. That allowed us to finish the game and publish this review right on the day of release. My name's Globku and these are my thoughts on Little Nightmares. Oh, and Vegeta's also finished the game, so he might have had some input on this review. Last year, reviewing Inside was one of the hardest things I've ever written because any example I gave was a potential spoiler. That game was about the mystery and the discovery of puzzles and game mechanics, and the same applies to Little Nightmares. It's gonna be tough talking without spoiling, but I'll do my best by remaining somewhat abstract, especially because this is a 2-hour-long game, so anything I show can be seen as a big chunk of it. So what is Little Nightmares? It's a side-scroller game, but it's also 3D. You can move in a 3D space freely, and there's a lot of physics involved, and sometimes the physics are required for puzzles because this is a giant game of hide and seek. Your character is small and fragile, and everything can be seen as a threat, so you can grab objects, you can move them around either to create new platforms or make some noise as a distraction for the big bad guy, or even other puzzle solutions that I won't get into. The controls are decent, even though the physics may act a little weird sometimes. It was very rare during my playthrough. In fact, most puzzles don't actually require physics, probably because they would become a little too finicky. So on one hand, the game could take better advantage of its physics systems. On the other hand, I'm glad they didn't, because I don't think the controls are as precise as they would need to be if you wanted to have those kinds of puzzles. And that's pretty much what you do the whole game. You run, you hide, you solve a couple puzzles, and you move on. And that might not sound too appealing on its own, but when you add the visual style, the atmosphere the game is able to create, and the abstract story it tells, then it becomes a very enjoyable experience. Those three elements together had a big emotional impact on me. Back at Gamescom 2016, when I interviewed the developers, they told us that this game was inspired by the nightmares of a little girl. And knowing that and putting together what the game visually gave me, I was able to build a narrative of my own. I don't know if that's the story that the devs meant to tell, but that's not important. It's subjective, it's open to interpretation. Oh, just kind of like Inside was if you play that. The environment is always dark, there's always something messed up and scary happening, and the soundtrack complements everything extremely well. And I don't have much else to say. Both me and Vegetas agree on this game's final score. It's a B. We both think it's a good game, great visuals, atmosphere, awesome moments, but it's a bit short for its price, which is currently at $20, and that's $10 an hour, unless you want to go for a second playthrough to find more collectibles and such, but that's not enough of an incentive for us. Also, maybe the puzzles could have been a bit more creative or challenging because they were mostly menial tasks. But yeah, good game, definitely recommend it if you like games like Limbo or Inside, and that's why we're giving it a B. If you have any further questions or doubts, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We're here to help you make an informed purchasing decision, so feel free to get down there and expose your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.